Meet the Winter Olympics. The introverted, neglected little brother of the bigger summer games, the winter version of the greatest sporting event on Earth, offers just as many inspiring stories as the hotter games do, minus the sunstroke. Runners are replaced with skates and skis, and water is frozen solid. It's the most enchanting sporting spectacle found on snow and ice. Winter gear may protect athletes and fans from the elements, but no gear can protect them from the truth. The Scandinavian country of Norway is widely considered one of the most beautiful on Earth. With a population of just over 5.2 million people, the land of the midnight sun is famous for their long inland-reaching bodies of water, happily known as fjords. The country is also known for their fishing and their freezing weather.
Mountain scene in Norway, and Norway in February is enough to make the British Isles look almost tropical.
Norway is also a really sporty nation, having virtually invented skiing and ski jumping, with the oldest ski found here from 5100 BC. This propensity for physical activity in the snow means they are medal machines at the Winter Olympics. In fact, between the first Winter Games in 1924 in Chamonix, France, and the 2014 edition in Sochi, Russia, Norway won the most medals overall, with 329, 118 of those gold, followed by the United States and Germany. But for some of their current Olympic representatives, the Winter Games are more than just about medals, but about making friends.
Especially in my sport, it's the community and the friendship we have all together. That really makes it so exciting.
That's why I like the Olympics, you know. It's a friendly, everyone wants to win, but it's a friendly tournament.
Unfortunately, it hasn't been all shiny smiles for their winter athletes. In 2016, three-time Olympic medalist Therese Johaug tested positive for doping after using an ointment to treat her sunburnt lips under doctor's orders, unaware it contained a banned substance.
The doctor told me he was going to try and find a cream at the pharmacy. I received it the next day and didn't give it more thought.
Slapped with a provisional doping suspension, the seven-time world champion cross-country skier tearfully claims she's innocent.
I am completely honest. There is no more story. I have told the truth.
Coming up, big names from the Winter Games. It's possibly the oldest winter sport in the world. Skiing finds its roots in Scandinavia, with the word ski coming from the Old Norse word "sjor," which means stick of wood. But these sticks of wood have come a long way since then. Once used in military exercises, cross-country skiing branched off to disciplines such as ski jumping and alpine skiing, where athletes need to navigate down slippery slopes in a test of speed and bravery. Leading the way in the medal tally is Austria, which is understandable when you consider that only 32% of the country is below 500 meters. Between 1936 and 2014, the mountainous Central European nation has dominated alpine skiing, with 34 gold, 39 silver, and 41 bronze medals. They're followed by Switzerland and the United States. But for all the podiums they've been able to secure, perhaps the greatest male Olympic skier of all time is an American. It's safe to say that Bode Miller is a curious character. Born and raised in a New Hampshire cabin without electricity, Miller took to the sport almost by default, developing an unorthodox skiing style in the quest to race like a horse.
They don't play games, they don't run 75%, they don't, they do everything they can. They're pretty raw. It's an authentic performance every time you see them race, and they don't have a lot of posturing. There's not a lot of, there's no gamesmanship there. They just go out and perform.
But for all the speed this horse on skis generates on the slopes, off it, he prefers the home comforts of his customized motorhome to luxury hotels.
I have my own bed, my own pillows, and it really is like it's a home, even though it's not, my home in California. It's home on the road, and it definitely makes me feel more relaxed, and my energy is better, and I have my own space.
This contrast is a fitting reflection of how his career has evolved, one of many highs and many lows. A high point, the 2002 Salt Lake City Games, where Miller won 2 silver medals in the giant slalom and combined events. A low point, the 2006 Turin Games, where he arrived as a skiing superstar and left medalists and jaded with the whole ski scene. Things were good at Vancouver in 2010, where he finally won his first gold medal in the Super Combined. While 4 years later in Sochi, he'd claimed a bronze under difficult circumstances.
Today was one of those struggles that really kind of emotionally felt like a true struggle.
That's because Miller raced with thoughts of his younger brother, Chile, a snowboarder and potential Olympian, who was found dead in a van in 2013. He may have finished third on the Super G podium, but for Miller, bronze was as good as gold.
Losing my brother was really hard, and just kind of attached emotion to this. He wanted to come to these games, and I thought that he would probably have a chance at making it, and then for him to pass away the way that he did really kind of, I don't know, it sort of connected with my sort of journey.
At 36 years of age, Miller became the oldest medalist in Olympic alpine skiing history, at a Games that also saw another American make history. Having won her first World Championship as a high schooler in 2013, Massachusetts native Mikaela Shiffrin landed in Sochi with visions of gold racing in her head.
I think there will definitely be more nerves because this means something to the rest of the world, so that also makes it mean something more to me.
Skiing's youngest female world champion since 1985 became the Olympics' youngest slalom gold medalist, taking top spot on the podium by more than half a second. Shiffrin later revealed she came with her game face on.
I remember watching Vancouver, watching Lindsey win her medal, and when I was watching it with one of my friends and her mom, and her mom said, "Mikaela, you have to remember one thing when you go to the Olympics and win a medal." I said, "Waterproof mascara."
Tough crowd. But not nearly as tough as what it takes to be an Olympic skiing champion.
I think I'm starting to realize that part of what I think makes me dominant is that I just ski a lot. Some of these girls have 10 years of experience on me, and I have to make up for that lost time somehow.
She's confident, bordering cocky, but perhaps that's what it takes to become, say, the next Lindsey Vonn. A downhill gold medalist of Vancouver, Shiffrin's compatriot offered to help her improve as a skier, but was told she didn't need her help. The Minnesota native wasn't offended, saying, "She's young, so I let it slide."
I drive way too fast. I have a few speeding tickets.
Okay, driving aside, why would you want advice from a seemingly injury-prone, aging skier anyway? Well, she's only the most successful American skier in history, having won World Cup races in all 5 disciplines of Alpine skiing.
I just love what I do. I love ski racing. I love going fast, and whenever I get injured, I want to get back at it. You know, I don't want to quit. I'm not a quitter. I never give up, and I just do the best I can.
The best she can has put her in the position to become women's all-time leader in victories. Hot on the heels of skiing's overall leader, Ingemar Stenmark of Sweden.
It drives me in the World Cups, for sure. Obviously, World Championships are a bit different, but yeah, Ingemar is definitely a big motivation for me.
Sure, she may be unsuccessful in love, but things are different on skis, where she won her 20th World Cup Crystal Globe title in 2016, an all-time record amongst men or women. Shiffrin may have passed up the offer, but it's safe to say few can give better skiing advice than Lindsey Vonn. The beauty of the Winter Games is that it discriminates against no country. Snow or no snow, if you have skill in a winter sport, the door's open. At Sochi in 2014, Togo and East Timor were new entries into the Winter Olympic family. Togo came to Russia with 2 young female skiers, Mathilde Amivi Petitjean and Alessia Affi-Dipol, who finished 60th in the women's giant slalom.
Just because we live in a building together with Sweden, Norway and Finland doesn't mean that we have to stand on the podium with them.
Meanwhile, East Timor arrived with 1 male athlete, the French-born alpine skier Johan Goot Goncalves.
Well, it started with a joke. One of the family friends told us, I went skiing with him and he told me, wow, this kid one day will be at the Olympic Games.
Having qualified at a slalom event in Iran, he paid his own way to make his Olympic wish happen. It gave him a chance to fulfill an otherwise impossible dream, that of becoming an Olympian, while spreading the word about his mother's homeland.
I'm pushing the kids as well to follow their dreams and do a sport. My message is for the Timorese, for them, for a good future, and for the world to show where is Timor. And
after the break, creating a winter wonderland. When one thinks of location for the Winter Olympics, a magical winter wonderland comes to mind. Like the tiny Norwegian town of Lillehammer, the northernmost city to ever host the Winter Games back in 1994.
Lillehammer is literally like a one-horse town. I really have trouble picturing the Olympics having been there, to be honest. It's like, where did everybody stay?
There were big cosmopolitan cities hosting the games like Vancouver in 2010 that had venues covered in too much snow.
We generally don't like to say no to snow here in Whistler, but the timing could have been a week ago, and that's where Mother Nature likes to, I think, come in and play a little bit with winter games.
And then there were places like the subtropical resort town of Sochi in 2014 that had to hoard snow for its seeming lack of it.
We are using the special snow-producing plants, high performance, that they can produce the snow in the emergency when we need it locally.
From a spectator, you can't ask for better weather. From a competition, I guess it's getting a little tricky, but I don't know about the danger side, but I said from a spectator side, it's going to be, it's a great way to watch a winter game.
Curiously, athlete accommodations had some rather interesting team bonding features, like side-by-side toilets.
Oh!
What do you think about this?
I guess you better go with a friend.
And Sochi's Olympic Park featured a few unconventional village attractions, like a cemetery.
Heroes from the past, eternal flame behind it, representing the heroes of today, so how awesome is that?
Yeah, awesome. Nothing short of a winter wonderland is expected from the hosts of the 2018 edition, which is also the smallest city to host the Olympic Games since Lillehammer, with so many lessons learned from past failures. But that's easier said than done. On July 7th, 2011, it was announced that PyeongChang, South Korea, would host the 2018 Winter Olympics.
We will have to unite the power of every person in this nation to successfully lead the 2018 PyeongChang Olympic Games.
Having narrowly lost out to Vancouver and Sochi for the 2010 and 2014 Games respectively, it was a case of third time lucky for the city that rests 180 kilometers east of the nation's capital, Seoul.
Yes, PyeongChang! Yes, PyeongChang!
We have been waiting for this so nervously for such a long time, so I can't fully believe it yet. But as time passes, I'm starting to realize that we really are the host country for the 2018 Winter Olympics.
But as history has proven, preparing to host a Games doesn't come without a few expensive headaches. Like in 2014, when they replaced Kim Jin-sun with Cho Yang-ho as the new chairman of the Games, amid concerns about construction delays and domestic sponsorship problems.
Based on my experience as the top bid official of PyeongChang Olympics, I will put every effort for the successful opening of the Olympics. The PyeongChang Winter Olympics and Paralympics are a cosmopolitan festival. It is a festival for citizens of the world. I anticipate support and feel a responsibility to the entire nation of the Republic of Korea.
For the POCOG president, it seemed honesty is the best policy.
The venue starts a little bit late, but everything we planned in time to meet the test event as well as the opening Olympic event.
With 6 new competition venues and a separate stadium to hold the opening and closing ceremonies for the Olympics being constructed, the focus could then be turned to other pressing issues, like mascots.
Hi, I'm Yuna Kim. Today, I'm very excited to unveil the mascots of PyeongChang 2018 for the first time. Sora, the white tiger for the 2018 Olympic Winter Games, and Pandabi, the Asiatic black bear for the 2018 Paralympic Winter Games. They are so cute and adorable.
While that was going on, they had to find yet another POCOG president as Cho Yang-ho resigned. Enter Lee Hee-byum.
I have inherited the spirit of the PyeongChang Organizing Committee that has been working towards an Olympic Games that is financially viable, cultural, environmentally friendly, and peaceful, and complete these intended achievements.
Perhaps a more subtle challenge for organizers is ensuring PyeongChang isn't confused with Pyongyang, the capital city of their mysterious Korean neighbors to the north.
PyeongChang is different from Pyongyang. Very different, very different. Do not confuse, please. In fact, 2 years ago, when we hosted an international conference here in PyeongChang, a delegate from Africa went to Pyongyang. His name was Daniel. When he arrived in Pyongyang, airport staff members asked him, "Why are you here?" "I don't know." "Where is your visa?" He could not answer at all. After all, North Korean soldiers rushed to the airport and questioned him for 5 hours. He was regarded as a spy, a somewhat strange spy. Finally, he got kicked out to Beijing and paid $500 for no visa entry.
And then there is the 700mm torch, which represents the altitude of PyeongChang at 700 meters above sea level, while the 5-angled shape of the torch represents the Olympic spirit, which unifies the 5 continents around the world into one. That sounds great, but a political scandal that caused the 2017 impeachment of South Korean President Park Geun-hye did not. Involved in a large-scale corruption scandal, she plunged the nation into its worst political crisis in decades, with alleged influence peddling amongst the country's culture and sport industries. Nice timing.
The political scandal may be an opportunity because there have been some systems which did not work well during the process of preparing for the Olympics. If we use this as the opportunity to solve these abnormal systems, despite the fact that only 1 year remains, we can maybe start preparing for the Olympics on a more stable footing.
But IOC President Thomas Bach didn't seem too fazed by it all, as he made this sincere announcement from the desk of the founding father of the Games, Pierre de Coubertin.
Korea will put on a great show. Korea always keeps its promises.
With the whole winter world descending on the nation in 2018, keeping their promises is imperative. Still to come, icons of the Winter Games. When it comes to the Winter Games, sometimes you need to take logic and throw it out the window. Because only at the Winter Games could a tropical country like Jamaica send a bobsled team to represent them.
Yeah! Lively up yourself and don't be no drag. Don't be no drag.
The land known for their speed on hardened soil sent a team to Calgary in 1988, becoming Olympic icons and unexpected celebrities. The ultimate underdogs didn't finish then, but have since created a culture where winning is almost everything.
Jamaica bobsled team, Sochi 2014, here we come.
They may have finished 21st on that occasion, but in a sport where athletes are hidden behind helmets and gravity-powered sleds, they're a breath of very fresh air.
Run the track, run the track, run the track, it's bobsled time. Make room on the ice, start off feeling nice. You know we do it right, to the right.
Of course, another team that can't be forgotten is the US men's hockey team at Lake Placid in 1980. That left fans believing in miracles after defeating the powerhouse Soviets in the semis and Finland in the final.
Once again, the U.S. hockey team has provided an unexpected thrill. They weren't supposed to win a medal at these Olympic Games, but they'll go home with the gold.
And finally, when one thinks of ski jumping, you can't help but think of Eddie the Eagle Edwards. The plasterer turned unlikely sporting hero became Britain's first ever Olympic ski jumper, finishing last at Calgary '88, but first in the hearts of millions.
It was my dream to get to the Olympic Games. It wasn't just a whim, it wasn't a joke. For me, it was very, very serious, and it's about a dream come true, and it was for me. And hopefully, it might inspire other people to get out there and you know, chase their ambitions, chase their dreams.
You really do have to give it up for any athlete willing to work their way into the Winter Olympics. Because for all the fluffy snow, many of the sports featured are not for the faint-hearted. Those are tempered with the fluidity of figure skating, the creativity of snowboarding, and the bocce on ice sort of spectacle known as curling. Anyway, add it all up, and there truly is something for everyone. And that is the truth.